viewers who are watching us, seated in front of you is Moses Whiteman. I'm the one talking, and I come from IT Labs Uganda, which is located in Entebbe, Chiraba. So at this time, I'm seated here with a big man. As you see him, he looks like a big man, not very big, but still big. Yeah. So let me first welcome you to introduce yourself to our viewers before you proceed. What's your name? Where are you coming from? And what do you do before even you tell it to the viewers?
Okay, thank you. So basically, my name is Prosper.
She was very sure that you are going to prosper.
Yeah, you know some parents. So I'm a medical personnel, first of all, so you can even consult anything. So he called me a specialist in medical department. Yeah, so basically that is me. Yeah.
Now, good enough that you are a medical specialist. You know, in this current world, people are suffering seriously of different sorts of diseases and so many problems. And you, the doctors, you are now there to protect and guide them on what to do to save their lives. Not so. Yeah. By the way, I don't know the COVID season whether you were one of the doctors who were treating people.
COVID season, every medical personnel
was working.
Open. Yeah.
By the way, how were you feeling? How do you feel when you are attending to a patient who is having COVID? How do you feel inside of you?
Well, at first, people, you would think that, okay, maybe if I'm a doctor, if I'm a medical personnel, I'm not scared, but we are all human, so we are scared at some point, but you first look at what you studied and what you do, because you think
so just surrender your life into protecting someone.
Yeah, that is the best feeling.
That's why I like doctors.
Yeah, thank you.
You have heard like that one of Jesus, though Jesus was exclusive, you see.
There are some things that you leave to God.
Now today, there is a topic I wanted us to talk about. Okay. You know, as I was passing by some areas, I heard someone talking about a particular disease, but she couldn't understand it very well. This disease is common to very many people. Yeah. So, and the disease was diabetes. Is it diabetes or it's diabetes mellitus?
Well, it is diabetes mellitus.
Diabetes mellitus. Yeah. So what is this disease?
Okay, I would like to think of this disease as, most people take it as a disease, but it is a disorder.
It's a disorder?
Yeah, I can break it down for you. Diabetes mellitus is a metabolic disorder that affects, metabolism. We are talking about breakdown of food, energy, biology.
Yeah, I see.
In primary, they used to tell us
breaking of food where you get some carbohydrates, you get some proteins, I think, isn't it that?
Yeah, that manufacture of those nutrients what are so, diabetes mellitus is a metabolic disorder, but in this disorder is categorized by increased blood sugar levels, where you find that the sugar or the glucose in blood is high.
It's high,
yeah,
low.
High. It is high more than the what?
So you want to tell the viewer that this is sugar or sugar levels, it's the primary cause to diabetes?
It is not the primary cause, but it is what I can say, it is characterized by increased sugar levels. Because primary cause, the other causes, but majorly the life-threatening situation is increased blood sugar levels.
Increased blood sugar levels. If you talk about sugar, a person watching us will think about the sugar that you take from the this sugar that they put in tea.
Yeah.
So I don't know which sugar levels are you talking about. Talking about that sugar or there is another sugar?
Okay, when I talk about the sugars, I wanted to use the layman's language. But also that sugar you put in the coffee, it is part of it.
It's also part of it.
Yeah, but you see sugar, we have a lot of types of sugars. But medically, you can say glucose.
Glucose.
Because when you talk of glucose there, I think you can get me.
Now, if you talk about glucose again, my mind goes back to this glucose which they buy in shops.
Okay.
So where does that glucose come from that you are talking about?
It is the same. It's glucose. You see, when you take things that contain maybe carbohydrates. Now that energy, you know where you get energy. You get energy through that glucose. You see, when food is broken, it is manufactured into glucose.
Into glucose.
Now that glucose, that is the energy.
Then I get vibe that we call vibe. Eh?
That is what.
Yeah, you see.
So, like, if you don't use a lot of that energy or that glucose, it stores in your veins as fats. Yeah. So it is also.
So these people who eat food and you sit reluctant, are not making your body sweat. That's
why you see
beginning
is becoming
fat and fat and fat. Yeah. So that glucose, it's the one we are talking about. Yeah. The final results of eating food when it's processed.
It is good. It is also good. Don't say it is bad, but it is good.
It's good.
Because that is how we get energy.
But it just needs to be maintained. Eh?
Very true.
Okay, so thanks for that explanation. You know, me I also have one disease. Though I'm talking about diabetes mellitus, but I have one disease, and this disease, it's asking a lot. I like asking a lot. So I want to ask you another thing. Now, like this diabetes, right now I don't know whether I have them or not. But how can I tell that now I'm having diabetes, and how can I tell that this person is having diabetes? What are the symptoms?
So basically about diabetes, to confirm that you have diabetes, you have to first go in either a hospital or a clinic or a health center. So they take off your blood sample, or they do other types to check your levels, your glucose level. They do random blood sugar test, all that. They check your glucose. That is when they will tell you that you're having high sugars
or low sugars.
But
so you mean by sight I can't tell out?
By sight you can't, but by signs and symptoms you can.
So what are those signs?
Because
so I just feel them I personally, but I can't see from another. I can't see a person and judge. So what do I feel?
So because when I talk of signs and symptoms, the sign is what you can see, but the symptom
you can't see.
What the patient feels.
I feel. You just feel it exactly.
So. If our viewers, if I'm to explain more, if you feel these are the signs and symptoms of diabetes mellitus, there is when you feel a state of confusion. Most of the times, you feel like you're thirsty.
I'm thirsty. Wait.
And on top of that, you feel very weak. You get night sweats. You understand?
Night sweats is sweating at night.
Yeah. And not this normal sweating, but you over sweating. Then the other cardinal sign, or what I would say, most of the major signs, is when you find yourself, you're going to the toilet all the
frequently,
time, urinating all the time. It means now there is a problem. There's a problem.
So what you say, is it connected to the bladder?
No, it is
because I think urinating, it's all about concerning also the bladder. So diabetes, does it affect the bladder at a particular extent, or?
Well, it affects the bladder in urinating frequently, but that is because you see, when I talk of metabolism, there are other organs that aid in metabolism. We have the kidneys, the kidney nephrons, we have the liver. So if I say there is a metabolic disorder, it means the problem is either in the liver, it can be in the kidney, or it can be in the
so those three areas are concerned.
Those are the most affected.
There I see now. Cool. I would like to ask you, me I'm a person of asking as usual, and that's what people know about me. Some people got angry of me because of asking a lot. Now I know good doctors also want people who consult from them frequently.
It's okay, because that is the purpose
of a doctor.
Information is dynamic.
Yeah, so I wanted to find out. You know, there are diseases now like HIV. HIV, we hear that it's not treated. Cancer, we hear that it's not treated.
True.
You just cope up with it and stay with it for some time. So is it the same story to diabetes, or diabetes can be treated? Oh, and another thing, how do you treat it if it's treated?
Okay, first of all, when you talk about treating, there someone might get a different picture if I say it is not treated. You can treat diabetes, but diabetes, you cannot cure diabetes.
So treating is different from curing?
Yeah, it is different.
How?
Treating is that therapy, or you give that help you're giving to the person to make their lives better. But cure, it is totally eliminating
it. That's cure. So
cure.
It can be treated.
Yeah.
What about curing?
Like I have said, it is a disorder. So it is very hard to find a disorder that is cured. But what you can do, you can live with diabetes. Diabetes, just you take it like you got an accident and now you're lame. Fine, they can mold the bones and you start walking, but that lameness will always
be there.
The scar will always be there.
That effect will remain with it.
That effect. So that is diabetes.
That's diabetes.
Yeah.
So even though you treat and it goes away, it leaves back some spots.
It doesn't necessarily go away, but the best thing you can do with diabetes is regulate your sugar levels.
Yeah.
So by regulating sugar levels, now you're going to the treatment.
And I think in the next episode, we are going to teach these viewers how do you regulate your sugar levels, because that's the major, I think, backbone information about diabetes.
It is the major.
Regulating your sugar levels. Yes. Now, time is not on our side, but I would like to ask you another thing.
Okay.
Now, like, what first aid? Now I've found out that I'm having symptoms of diabetes, or someone is having diabetes. What first aid can I give to such a person?
Okay. So by this condition of diabetes mellitus, I told you it is increased blood sugar levels. But the problem comes in regulating. Now in diabetes mellitus or DM, there is what we call sugar levels not balancing. Sometimes you get hypoglycemia. When I say hypoglycemia, that is increased glucose. But when you're using the meds for diabetes mellitus, sometimes if you're having poor diet, you find yourself when you're having hypoglycemic.
Poor diet.
Hypoglycemia. So hypoglycemia, that is where you find your sugar levels are very low, and that is very dangerous.
Yeah. So meaning low sugar levels and high sugar levels, too high sugar levels, all of them are responsible for bringing diabetes to people.
All of them, now that is what we call diabetes mellitus.
The low and the high.
It falls down because what I would say, diabetes mellitus is increase and decrease. But it has types. There is diabetes mellitus type 1 and there is type 2. Basically, if I would like to educate you about our viewers, if I'm to educate you about diabetes mellitus, type 1, this type 1 and type 2, they are different in the way you find your body. The reason why you get increased blood sugar levels, your body doesn't produce enough insulin. Or it doesn't produce insulin.
I heard about that concept.
Insulin, that is the major key in regulating sugar. Sugar.
What does it do?
Sugar levels. Insulin, if the blood sugar levels or the glucose levels in blood, if they go high, it is insulin that cuts them.
To regulate them.
Insulin, if it goes up, insulin is...
So in 30 seconds, summarize up that insulin. How does it come about in the human body? Where does it come from?
Insulin, it also comes from our nutrition.
The way we eat.
Yeah, the way we eat.
Where does it stay in the body?
Fatty substances contain insulin.
Insulin.
Yeah, there is even some people...
So I mean, I embark on eating eggs.
Those fatty substances, meat, fatty meat, what and what.
Exactly.
To non-Muslims, even pork helps.
Yeah, the other animal of ours.
that animal that doesn't look up, that cow, it also has some bit of insulin. But
I think you're gonna make people love that animal.
That is not the purpose. I'm not saying them go and eat it. But I'm telling you, insulin, the products, where insulin, it's good. So now diabetes mellitus happens, type 1 and type 2, it happens. In the other case, the body doesn't produce insulin, or it doesn't produce enough insulin to act on on the glucose levels. Then the other type, the body produces insulin, but that insulin is not being recognized. So it is not being used by the body. I don't know if you understand.
I see.
Yeah. So you find yourself glucose is going up.
That's where the increase comes from.
That is where the increase comes from.
Okay. Now, time is not on our side, but I think the last question I can help with these viewers, I want you to give them a piece of advice on 2 occasions. If I found out that I'm having diabetes already, now what advice can you give me to stay with it when it's not affecting me to a greater extent? Or if it happens that I've not yet got it, what can I do to prevent getting it?
Okay. So I think that question I'm going to add it up with first aid treatment, then and advice I would give to a person. Well, first of all, if you get to know, if you go to the hospital, they check your glucose levels, and you confirm.
Any hospital?
Any hospital. There is rarely a hospital that doesn't do testing for glucose.
I see.
Or blood sugars. If you're confirmed you're put on certain drugs, they will put you on metformin and other drugs, vinclamide. They put you on all drugs. But those drugs, they help in regulating. When it goes up, they reduce. And you're advised to only take those drugs every after a meal.
Lunch and supper?
Yeah. Remember, I've told you, if the diabetes mellitus, the blood sugar levels is going up. So now, when blood sugar levels are up, it means that drugs you're getting, they are lowering it. Now remember, if you have not eaten and you take this drug, even the glucose that is there is going to be depleted. So you'll end up with the other crisis I told you, hypoglycemia. And that is also an emergency. It is also very bad. So to avoid that, you take those drugs every after. Now, if it
so that's a person who is already having it. Now, what about me who has not yet got it? What activity should I always be doing?
Well, the activities I can tell you to be doing is do regular exercises.
Like running, jogging,
But advice I would give you is...
No, like youths like a lot going in gyms and it also helps.
That is very healthy. Exercise is very healthy. Then the other thing is maybe avoid smoking. Excessive smoking. Excessive alcohol. You know, it all affects the liver.
The liver.
And that is where most of the product that helps in regulating the glucose comes from.
Okay.
So if you're spoiling your metabolic organs that help you in metabolism, it means you're prone. Actually, people who take excessive alcohol and smoking, they are the most predisposing factors
for diabetes.
Yeah, I had forgotten to tell you about the causes. Diabetes itself, it is not that it is an infection. No, it is a disorder. It being a disorder, it means it does not have a specific cause, but it has predisposing factors.
Oh, doctor.
Okay.
I would like you to elaborate on the viewer to enlighten them. Now, what are the major, because there are very many causes, I think, of diabetes, but what are those major causes of diabetes, and what first aid can you give to someone with diabetes?
Okay, so those major causes, if I'm to tell you, diabetes doesn't have a specific cause. It's not like these other things that it is an infection, it is caused by this. Diabetes is a disorder.
It's a disorder.
So it means diabetes, like I told you, it is a metabolic disorder. It means it has predisposing factors. If I say predisposing factors, it means something that is going to expose you to getting a certain disorder.
Exposing.
You won't get it straight, but when you do this,
it exposes you.
You're prone to getting it. So it has predisposing factors.
And what are those?
And the major two is excessive smoking and alcohol.
I think those people who do those activities I've seen.
Yeah, it is okay to do them,
but some people do take alcohol for some reasons. You allow them to take alcohol, but not excessively. Just control themselves to taking a little per day.
Yeah, but there are these people who you're taking alcohol excessively, you're not feeding very well, so you're prone to diabetes mellitus, my dear.
Now a case is found that one has already got. He's having the disease, and you have found out my colleague is having diabetes mellitus. What first aid can I give to that person?
Well, first of all, first aid to that person, because diabetes mellitus has the most emergency part of it, and that is where the blood glucose is down. What I would call hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia, I mean the glucose levels in blood are very low.
Very low.
That is life-threatening. First of all, you the person who is having diabetes mellitus, these are the signs and symptoms you have to take note for the first aid, before getting the first aid. First of all, you'll get kind of confusion. You will have blurry sight or poor vision. And you get like, I don't know how to say, kusanyarara. Come on.
So these people who complain about eye blackout, because there are people who complain that whenever I'm sitting and I stand up, I suddenly see black. So you mean that's one of the signs of diabetes?
No, so if you know you have diabetes mellitus and you get that condition, you can't stand, you're very weak, mostly you find yourself, you're shaking. It is also that state of
By the way,
just know that is an emergency. Your glucose levels are very, very low. Very low. So the first aid I would give you is, if maybe you can get something, a sweet thing to take to regain your glucose levels. Then you if you're able, you rush to a nearby hospital. They first take you.
A clinic can't work out.
A clinic can work.
Okay.
They do RBS, random blood sugar test. They check the glucose levels.
Exactly.
But the first aid is, if you feel very weak, you can't stand, you're trembling or you're shaking, poor vision, just get something sweet. Take so that you regain, because your blood pressure will also be very high at some point. You feel palpitation, you feel as if you can hear your heartbeat.
I see.
Pumping. Yeah. So that is the first aid I would give you.
So maybe the last but not least, because I know in the next episode we are gonna explain more about this information, because the viewers always want to know the root cause of this disease, the root cause from the backbone. So in a few words, like in 1 minute, can you give some small advice to people who are having diabetes mellitus, how to control it, or if they have not yet got, how can they prevent it?
Okay, first of all, our viewers, if you know you have diabetes mellitus, first of all, what I'm going to tell you, there are people in the world who have this disorder. It's not the end of the world. Just take it as if maybe you've got maybe you are lame. So by being lame, you need either a crutch to help you support yourself. So that is basically diabetes mellitus. It means your organs that help you in metabolism have got a problem. The only best way you can help them is at least take the medicine, regulate your blood sugar levels. When you feel those signs and symptoms I've told you that it is dropping, please get something and regain. When you know that the blood sugar levels are up, take your medicine. That is the best thing. Unless otherwise, you will have to avoid certain things. Avoid alcohol, avoid smoking if you have it, avoid sugary things, sodas, what are not. Avoid those things that contain glucose. Carbohydrates, those things that have more carbohydrates, portion, what are not. Avoid them. Bread, everything.
Shall eat rice more and more.
You regulate, even rice.
It's having.
Has carbohydrates. So you regulate the rice. I'm not saying everyone. There's that person that can only afford rice or sugar.
Exactly.
You regulate it. You don't take sugars. You don't take porridge that has sugar. You regulate those foods that give you glucose, because it will click up and you will be in a bad condition, spending a lot of money.
It's not good.
Yeah, so you can manage it personally. It is not very hard.
Using general information.
Yeah. Take your medicine. Avoid things the doctor tells you. If the doctor tells you avoid this and this, please avoid. Should
follow.
It is your own health.
Exactly.
Not the doctor's health. So you're only helping yourself.
And that's why a Muganda man says that where they go. Life matters. Life is yours. It's not for the doctor, it's yours. It's mine actually. Yeah, so Doctor, I also want to appreciate you a lot. I greet you. I appreciate you for this knowledge. You know, you people studied medicine and you studied your doctor things of health, but as we studied different things, and it seems that now your information is now helping us. Seriously.
It's always good to share.
It's always good to share.
Dynamic.
Now, me, I come to a conclusion that says, I don't know how can we get the output, because if someone of IT meets with a doctor to combine, I don't know what will be the product there in
That
front.
is a very good thing. Because
Very-
what we need to do is sensitize people, create awareness, because there are some things that if a person hears of this, and let me say in layman's language, Uganda now we don't have a sukari. But that is not the case.
Yeah,
It's
that's
something
the
you can live
actually
with.
chechigambo bagambo we awedde.
Because first of all, the good thing, diabetes, you're not going to spread it to someone.
It's you only.
It's your disorder. The only thing maybe diabetes, you might find when it is hereditary, it runs in blood. Your father or your grandfather.
So meaning
had
it's also hierarchy. It can come from your grandparents
it is
and
also
parents.
hereditary. It can
It's
be-
like sickle cells.
Yeah, it is like sickle cells, but the cases rarely happen. Yeah, the occasion is not
Okay.
the severity of sickle cell, but it can also be hereditary.
So, I thank you a lot for the time you have given us, and especially for the time you have taken to inform the people and to teach them. You know, your tips are ever helping these people. And as I think right now the viewer has now gained out something. And what I know, many elder people are getting this information. By the way, I think to my consent that 70 to 80% of the elderly people, I don't know why, but they are the major people suffering from such diseases, pressure, diabetes, and so other things. This information will help them a lot, and I want to thank you for studying, obviously, actually health, for studying medicine. Thank you so much. The next episode, I think we shall come and elaborate more on this topic. Yeah. So in 1 or 2 words, I want you to say a hi to, I want you to send off our viewers. Yeah, greet them as you send them off. If you have someone at home to say bye to, you can say your hi to them.
Okay, so our viewers, thank you for this opportunity. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity, at least to try to air out what I know, or to share the knowledge I know with my people. You know, as a medical personnel, you feel very good.
Exactly.
When the person, maybe your information helps someone, or when you help someone, that is the best blessing. So thank you for the opportunity. I would like to send shout outs to my homies, my mom and other people at home. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Musao. Thank you for your time, and to God be the glory that now you are helping the country Uganda to shift from one place to another. Our viewers, I remain as Moses Whiteman from IT Labs Entebbe, and thank you for loving our channel. Subscribe, share the video, like and comment to stay updated. Thanks for all that we are doing. Stay well. Bye bye.